So once you fold it out, you've got the basic, the front of the tent here. This is going to be the entrance part of the tent. And as you realise that when you fold the tent up and you're travelling around, you've got all the brackets, the bits and bobs to sort of erect the entrance and to open the windows and the base layers and the annex. They would be normally folded up inside the tent, so as you fold it and you strap it down, they'd be safely inside, sort of sandwiched between the foam mattress, as it were. Folded up neatly, of course, to aid the space. So what the first thing you do would be to open up the tent, and then you would basically get inside. You would get the essentials to open up the entranceway. Now the first essential of course has got to be the frame or the subframe for the entrance. So here's one I made earlier. So this is to sort of elongate the entrance, so you've got a better walkway to come in. Now this is obviously needed anyway due to sticking the annex around. Now if you can see it there, you have on the two corners at the front, you've got these sort of holders here which you would put these in. The quickest and the easiest way to assemble the front annex part is to first of all put the front frame section into one of them first, only one of them, and then sort of hook it around the frame to go up to the corner, and that's just on one corner first. Leave the other corner free. You're not losing now. And then what happens is you feed the cover all the way around like this. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility, that's all, because if you were to put the frame part in both ends first, then try to feed the entrance over the frame, it's a lot harder, it's a lot tighter. Or if you try to put it in within the entrance and then try to push it in, again it's a lot tighter and it's very, very difficult. So you put it in one end first, you feed it around, and then it just gives you that little bit more flexibility just to pop it in the other end there. I'd imagine the more you'd use the tent, the more flexible it gets, so that you can essentially do that quite quickly. And then you just pull it out. So this is your subframe. Again, you can neaten it down. You can pull it down quite tightly. You can see me there, but so you've got the here you've got a series of guide ropes as well. Now these would come down here, these would pull it a bit tighter, so what you'd be getting is the outer edge of the tent there would obviously lose that sort of shabby crease look, and that would look more taut. Also as well, if you notice the subframe or the base plate of the tent, it often starts off at an angle. So you'd have it flat there, and then here you can see it comes up at an angle. Now the longer you keep it out, of course, and how you position your ladder, the more it sort of lowers down. So if you can see, when I first opened it up, it was quite a tight angle. But as it's been out open a while now, it's just the hinge mechanism there. It just needs that little bit of time to just loosen and then flatten down. If we had this open now for, an hour or so, that would eventually lie flat as well. It doesn't mean that you can't get in it now. Essentially, I could get in there because the weight is distributed on this ladder here, and also on the frame on the roof rack. And if you noticed here, at the base of the roof rack, if you can see that, the centre of the base is actually sort of a couple of feet within the roof rack. So often that's quite a good idea to do that, just so it gives you that extra strength. Some people just do it right up to the edge, that way it gives them more annex room after, and you've got more room to sort of mess around underneath the roof rack, roof tent. But again, it's horses for courses, you can do what you want really on that, it's quite flexible. So I'm just bringing this closer. Let's try that one again. So here we got the end. If you look at the entrance here, it's quite a bit of room. I mean, obviously I'm stood on the floor doing this, but normally you'd be climbing up the ladder to get to this height. This would be 6, 7 feet off the ground normally. So to get to it, I'd be stood on this ladder, and then you would sort of, you've got the entrance piece here, which you could roll up, a couple of clips at the top that you attach to this, very simply done, and then you've got your fly sheet as well as, and you clip this up. I'll get the camera and show you some close-ups in a second. Just bear with me a moment. Now at this point, obviously when you're setting the tent up, you've opened up the entrance. You could quite possibly open up the side windows as well. We'll look at that in a second. But you want to be sort of bringing your annex out at this point. I've got the annex at the entrance here. We're not going to erect the annex at the moment for obvious reasons, that it's quite tall and we're only sort of 4 foot off the ground here, so we couldn't do that now. We'll do that in another video and you can see how tall the annex is, how far out it comes, how much space you have inside. I often get the question, can people sleep inside the tent and some people out in the annex? Yeah, that's quite possible. Again, we'll have to show that in another video with the annex and give the dimensions as well. But it is quite a wide area for the annex. So we'll get this, just get the annex out. Nice and neatly done there, of course. You get a bag, a canvas bag as well, with these poles in. I'll just get some of these out just for illustrations purposes, and I'll show you how to sort of open up the window section, or one of them at least. Now there's these sort of metal poles here with a hook on the end, and what I'll do is I'll show you how to open up the window on that section now. Bear with me a second.